سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم وقل رب زدني علما. Okay, before we start our next chapter, actually the last hadith, there was one portion that I actually left out. I forgot to mention. And so what I'll do is, since it's such a great hadith, such a fabulous hadith, comprehensive hadith, so I'll just translate the whole thing once again, inshallah, for everyone's benefit. So, Jundub ibn Junaada radiallahu ta'ala narrates that Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, narrating from Allah Azza wa Jal, Hadith Qudsi, that all my slaves, I have made dhulm, I've made tyranny, injustice, haram, forbidden upon myself. And a word here, that nothing is actually wajib on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is Allah. Everything belongs to Him. It's all His kingdom. So He can do whatever He wants. So there's nothing wajib on Him and there's nothing actually haram on Him. But He has, as a mercy, made, dhulm haram upon Himself. Tyranny haram upon Himself. Okay? So He says, I have made tyranny, injustice, haram upon myself, and I've made it between and among you people also haram, forbidden. So don't tyrannize one another. Don't do injustice to one another. O my slaves, all of you are misguided or off guidance, except those whom I have guided. So ask me for guidance and I'll guide you. And O my slaves, all of you are hungry except those who I have fed. So ask me for food and I'll feed you. And O my slaves, you are all naked except for those whom I have clothed. So ask me to clothe you and I'll clothe you. And O my slaves, you are committing excesses, sins, in the day, in the night, and in the day. And I forgive sins, all of them. I forgive all the sins. So ask me for forgiveness and I'll forgive you. And O my slaves, you will never reach to that position or that situation where you will be ever to cause any harm to me. And you'll never come to that station or that status where you'll ever be able to be any benefit to me. O my slaves, if the beginning of you, from the first of you to the last of you, from your ins, from your jinn, from the humans, from the jinn, if all of you are on the condition, atqa qalbi rajulin wahid, if you had the inner conditions of the most muttaqi, all of you were like that, so that wouldn't increase in my kingdom a bit. And my slaves, if beginning of you, the first of you to the last of you, your humans and your jinn, all of you, were all on the characteristic of the worst and most evil and vile person, so that also would not decrease from my kingdom a bit. And O my slaves, if the beginning of you, the first of you and the last of you, your ins, your jinn, your humans, your jinn, everybody, they stood up in one place, one maidan, one huge area, and all of them together all began to ask me whatever they wanted. And I gave all of them whatever it is that they were asking for, then that wouldn't decrease from my kingdom, even to the extent that a pin placed into the ocean and taken out, how much water is going to, how much water is going to decrease from the ocean? Nothing. So even there will be something, but even that, in other words, there will be no decrease in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's kingdom and in His treasuries whatsoever. Allahu Akbar. O my slaves, it's only actually your amal, which I will be watching and I will be recording and I will be, registering. And I will present that to you, obviously, on the Day of Judgment. So, who finds good, then let him thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gave him tawfiq to do that good. And if anyone finds other than that, then he should not blame except himself. La yalumanna illa nafsah. And as we can mention once again, you see that Abu Idris al-Khawlani, rahimahullah ta'ala, when he, the muhaddith, who used to narrate this hadith. This hadith used to be so overpowering to him that he used to just fall down on his knees with the weightiness of this hadith. Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah ta'ala, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Imam Ahl Sunnah, the one who stood up single-handedly to defend, the aqidah of Ahl Sunnah. So he says that the people of Sham, as I mentioned yesterday, they don't have a hadith which is more auspicious than this. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us yaqeen on, all those qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make us among those who will race towards sending that forward so that we'll find khairan, inshallah, khairan kathiran, good in abundance on that day. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and you all the Muslim, Muslim tawfiq. Wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi